Hey guys, long time no see. Hey. So elephant in the room, I am currently filming on a blanket. Yes. It is because I am using my husband's office desk at the moment, and it happens to have a glass top, and it was reflecting everything, and it just wasn't a good look. So I just threw a blanket on top of it, and that's why you see this little background. So forgive the fuzzies and the stuff like that, but oh my gosh, I have missed you guys so much. Like, okay, can I just say that I haven't made a video in, God, months? I think YouTube said like my last video was 150 days ago. Like that's ridiculous. That's just dumb. What's even more dumb is the fact that a lot of you guys are still here and like commenting and watching and subscribing. And I cannot tell you how thankful I am just coming back and seeing all of your comments and all of your encouraging words and hey, hope everything's okay, and little checkups on me. And man, I am not worthy of all of your kindness. I'm so thankful. Thank you guys so much for checking in on me. I'm here, I'm okay. A lot has happened, but I have been budgeting. I've been keeping up with all of my budget sheets and everything for the past couple of months. I just haven't been filming it. It takes a lot to just, first of all, find the time to sit down and film, and second of all, to find the time to edit. Actually, and then even before all of that, to sit down and actually like calculate everything that's happened and make sure all my numbers add up, because there's nothing more embarrassing than filming and then realizing that you made an error, and then you have to go back and say, actually, I messed up. But I mean, I guess that's life, and I shouldn't care really about what you guys think, but I have been doing the budget for myself. I've been keeping track of it. I just haven't been filming it. So new year, new priorities, I'm going to create time, because that's why I made this channel, was not just to hold myself accountable by writing it down, but I feel like if I have to put it on the internet, there's like this extra layer of accountability. Like if I have to put it on the internet for people to see and comment and give advice and all of that stuff, then it makes it more real. I don't know if that makes sense, but I need to hold myself and my family a lot more accountable in 2024, and so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So thank you guys for not giving up on me, and just being the most amazing people that you are. I really am so thankful. Thank you. So I know like January is basically halfway over at this point, but I told you I've been doing my budget, so I wanted to show you what's happening so far. Here's what's going on in January. First of all, what do you guys think of my winter budget sheet? I hope you guys can see all of the coolness. There's like snowflakes and little trees down here. I really like that. I use this pattern for November and December, and now again in January, just because it's been so cold over here, and it just, I don't know, it's fitting. It's not focused on any particular holiday, it's just winter. So I've been using it. I really like this pattern. Anyway, let's get into January. Let me zoom in. All right, usually I budget from a Monday to a Sunday, and it happened to work out really well this month, because Monday through Sunday happened to be the very beginning of January, 1st through the 7th. So that's our first week of January here. My husband does get paid on the 25th of every month. So usually I budget from the 25th to the 25th of every month. December, he ended up getting paid a little bit earlier, because December 25th is, of course, Christmas. And so school districts, because the banks are closed and everything, they pay much earlier than the 25th. So anyway, all of it was quite confusing to my already confusing budgeting timeline. So I was like, okay, January 1st, we're just going to start over, and whatever we got left over in the bank, that's what we're rolling over. That's what we're working with. So our rollover in the bank when we started the month of January, this was my husband's paycheck and my paycheck. I get paid on the 15th and the very last day of every month, and then he gets paid the 25th of every month. So usually at the end of the month, we're working with his full monthly paycheck and then half of my month's paycheck. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I was anticipating just to work with that, but we actually got a little bit of Christmas money that I didn't get a chance to take to the bank or anything yet. So I went ahead and deposited that cash we got from different relatives from all around and stuff. They gave us a little bit of cash for Christmas. And then my husband, he is a high school band director, for those of you who don't know, and he is currently moving on up in his career. He's hosting a lot of clinics for different bands around the country, and he recently did a clinic for a high school band, and they paid him $500 for his time. He was just there for a couple hours working with the kids, so that's a pretty cool payday right there. Anyway, so our income that we ended up working with in the first week of January was $8,466.95. The first week of the month is usually when all these bills come out. So everything came out just as expected. We pay our mortgage. Every week I have to pay $200.25 towards my daughter's daycare. My husband's student loans. Yes, student loans have started back up. Those who live in the United States who have student loans, we have had them on, what do they call it, deferment, or basically on pause for several years because of COVID, and they just started payments back up in October, I want to say. So it's been a couple of months where we've had to make student loan payments. Now, my husband not only went to school for his bachelor's degree, but he also went and got his master's degree. And so he has so many more student loans than I do. And he is still teaching at this point. And so as a teacher in the field of what's called, I mean, you know, he teaches music, and that's like a high needs area. There's something going on where you can get your student loans paid off after you teach for X number of years, for a special needs area, and music happens to be one of those areas. So we are working on getting a lot of his student loans forgiven, because he has been teaching now for 12 years, something like that. And so he does qualify to get a good chunk of them forgiven. So we filled out a whole bunch of paperwork for that, but until all of that goes through, we still have to pay whatever we have to pay. And it's a huge, like, right in the heart. $908.19 every month. Yuck. We have my husband's Apple storage, which is 99 cents a month, a Spotify subscription, AT&T, which is our cell phone bill for my cell phone, my husband's cell phone, my Apple Watch, and an iPad. Yeah, it's all like part of the plan thing. We pay for Apple Plus TV and Amazon Prime. So all of those subscriptions and bills and what have yous, that came out to $3,905.14. So that leaves us with an actual balance of $4,561.81. The next category, after I talk about all my bills and stuff, is I go to the expenses. These are things that don't necessarily have to be paid, like to a company or to a like somebody who, you know, utilities, or it's not a debt or anything. It's just we need these to survive, and we can kind of be more flexible. There isn't a minimum that has to be paid, kind of a thing. And those sorts of expenses are groceries, eating out, a spending allowance for me and my husband, and gas and transportation. I also have a couple of lines left that I leave down here for any sinking fund categories that we might use. Currently, our sinking funds are completely at zero. We had to use all of it. But I do like to keep track of where our money is going. Even though we're not taking it from a specific fund, I need to know that this week I ended up spending $55 in personal care, just so I can keep in mind, okay, if this is a reoccurring habit every month, that the first week of the month we end up spending $55 for a haircut for my kids, then I need to know that that needs to be included in the budget. I hope that makes sense. This is like a way for me to track and gauge specific patterns until we can replenish our sinking funds back up again. Okay, so groceries, first week of January. We went a little bit under budget in categories that we normally go way over budget. We spent $249.23 in groceries, $145.50 in eating out. I spent $36.20 from my allowance. My husband spent $42.48 in his allowance. We ended up not getting any gas this week. This is still like this weird limbo in between Christmas and New Year's where the kids are out of school, my husband isn't teaching. So that we weren't driving around a lot. It's very much stay home, chill, enjoy the holiday time. So I'm assuming that's why we didn't get any gas. And we spent a whole bunch in other sinking fund categories. Spent about $150 on my kiddos. So my son bought a video game, and he had to use like our account to buy it online, and then he gave us cash for it, but that was like $39.99. And then we also signed up my son for soccer, and so to sign him up to play soccer for the whole season, that was $110. So that's where that came from. Christmas for $129.99. That was for a Christmas decoration that was on clearance. We really like to decorate our home for Christmas, and we saw this, like, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's very old school. Like, it's an ice skating rink, and then there are these people who are magnetically attached to the ice, and then the magnets kind of make it look like they're skating. I remember growing up and my parents having something very similar to that, and then my husband remembered his grandparents having something similar. So when we saw it and it was on clearance, which clearance, that's still very expensive, but compared to like the $800 it normally was, we were like, we have to get it. So we got this after Christmas bargain, I guess. So $55 was for a haircut for my husband and for my son, and car maintenance. Lord. My car would not start, and the battery died. So we had to throw about $300. It was like 200 and some change at a new battery. And then going somewhere to actually get it installed, which we could get it installed for free at most car places like an O'Reilly's or a Advanced Auto Parts, those sorts of shops that actually sell batteries. But because my car is newer, they did not want to touch it. Something about when they changed the battery in my newer car, it would like mess up some sort of electronic thing in there. I don't know. I think they really just didn't want to touch the car, but whatever. So I had to take it to the dealership and actually have the repair shop from the dealership install the battery. So that's where all that came from. And then on top of that, my husband needed an oil change. So all that added together came up to a pretty penny of $500.94. And my daughter, her birthday, she turned 3 on January 13th. And so I knew I would have to buy some things to prepare for her birthday. She's 3, like she doesn't have like friends in daycare yet. So I didn't feel the need to like rent out a space or, I didn't need to go crazy for her birthday. I just needed something to invite family and maybe a couple kiddos from her daycare over to our house and, just have people over. So I wanted to spend some money on like decorations. She was having a Mickey Mouse themed birthday party. So we got some stuff for thank you bags, a couple of balloon things, and invitations. I'm trying to think of what else all that was spent on. Oh, a couple of activities. When the kiddos came over, we wanted something like fun for kids to do. So I ended up buying a whole bunch of painting activities, like smocks for the kids to wear so they wouldn't get their clothes dirty, paints, paintbrushes, and then I found this cute little canvas of Mickey Mouse, and they were all going to paint together. It ended up we didn't use any of that stuff, so I had to return it all. But anyway, spent a whole bunch of money. I returned about half of it, so we'll see some income coming in from that return hopefully soon. Anyways, and then home, $89.98. My living room, we needed some new curtains. The only curtains we had were like Christmas curtains. They were like a bright, like a Christmassy red, and we wanted something not Christmas anymore because we took down the tree and all those decorations, so we got something a little more suitable, and that was $89.99 for enough curtains for our living room. So altogether, we spent a lot more than I thought we would. In fact, basically double. We spent $1,647.08, and that left us with $2,914.73. Final category I go to is the savings category. We're currently not putting anything into savings in terms of like a savings account. At the very end of the month, I like to put whatever is left over and what I can back into sinking funds, because we need to start building those back up. But every week, every couple of days, our bank account, we are enrolled in a Save and Go program where basically anytime you swipe your debit card, or if a direct, what's it called? Like a payment is made, an automatic payment is made out of your bank account, then a percentage of that will be transferred over into a savings account. And by the end of the month, it's only about like $15 or so that gets moved over. It's not a lot, but $15 by the end of the year, I mean, it adds up. So this week I thought it was only going to move $2 over, and it moved $3 over to our savings account. So that means we're rolling over into week 2, $2,911.73. Moving on to week 2, that is January 8th through the 14th. We have our rollover of what was left from week 1, and I got my second paycheck, or I guess my first paycheck of the month, which was $1,898.10. So I got paid a little bit earlier. Usually I get paid around the 15th of every month. I got paid a little earlier. And baking, $9.87. I brought that in from my baking account. I do a little side hustle where I bake things for different people's birthday parties and weddings and stuff like that, baby showers. So I didn't have my business card on me at the time, so I had to purchase some supplies I needed for an upcoming order using our account, and then I just moved money from my business account to kind of replenish my personal account. I hope that makes sense. Okay, anyway, so the income that we are working with is $4,819.70. Couple bills, not too many, not as many as the first week. So we have another week's worth of daycare, Progressive, which is our car insurance, and internet. All that came to $398.33. You can see where my pen started dying, so sorry that the writing is a little faded here. So that means we're left with $4,421.37. Going to the expenses for the week. Groceries, eating out. We spent a lot more in groceries because of my daughter's birthday. Again, her birthday was on the 13th, and because we had a whole bunch of people over, I had to feed, I think we ended up having 20 people over at our house, not including us. So we had to feed everybody, and you know, all the extras that come with that, like the paper towels and the paper plates and all that stuff. So on top of the regular grocery bill, and then buying enough food for her birthday party as well. Could we have spent less? Absolutely we could have, but that's what happened. So $434.42. We didn't eat out as much this week, so $51.78. I overspent in my allowance, and so did my husband, $81.04. and my husband spent $186.11. So I overspent because I have a coworker who is having a baby, and I wanted to make her baby a little crochet doll, and I wanted to buy some supplies from the Hobby Lobby. I got some yarn and crochet needles and buttons for the eyes and all kinds of stuff. So I ended up spending a little bit more than I usually do just because I wanted to prepare for making that gift. I should have budgeted the rest of my week accordingly if I knew I was going to buy all those things, but I didn't. My husband was out of town a little bit this week. He was helping with another clinic that he was doing. Or no, maybe this was like an all-state band thing. I can't remember, but basically because he was out and about for a couple of days, he had to eat out, and so a lot of this was spent on him eating dinners and lunches and stuff at different places. So, and gas, we definitely filled up a lot more because we didn't fill up the week before. So we spent $128.06 there. My daughter's birthday, I ended up spending another $138.41. And that was due to some supplies that I bought to make her like desserts and other treats and stuff for her birthday party. While I was at Hobby Lobby, I got different things to help with making those sweet treats for her birthday, along with some other last minute things. Like I realized we didn't have enough serving trays for all the food. The birthday gift that I wanted to get her it was like delayed and wasn't coming in on time, so I had to buy her a different birthday gift and then cancel that other Amazon order. Anyway, lots of last minute stuff there. Again, I spent out of baking, but then I had to use my baking account to replenish. My husband is going to travel to another music conference, and he had to pay for his hotel room and for registration for this conference. I'm not sure if his school is going to reimburse him for this because this is technically considered professional development. I'll have to ask him if he'll be reimbursed. But every year he goes to this music educator conference, and that's what that's for. And $132.41. What was that for? Like a side table for our living room. And my daughter was sick, so I had to get some medicine and some ginger ale and Pedialyte. She had a little stomach bug, so that's what that was for. And then clothes. My husband, unbeknownst to me, has subscribed to Stitch Fix. If you don't know what Stitch Fix is, it's dangerous, but it's a subscription service where you can they give you a whole bunch of different outfits and clothing items, and you can say, yeah, that looks cute, or no thank you, I would never wear that. And they kind of get an idea of what your style is, and then based on that information they pick out clothes for you and they send it to you in a box. You try it all on, and if you like it, you keep it and pay for it, and if you don't like it, you send it back and you don't pay for a thing. So I did Stitch Fix a long time ago when I first started my new job, when I quit teaching, because I didn't have like proper corporate business attire, and I don't know, it's not quite my style really to be wearing like slacks and button-up shirts and stuff, so I didn't have a lot in my wardrobe. So when I signed up for Stitch Fix, I got like a box or two, a couple of like blazers and things that I needed, and I was good. Well, I told my husband about that because he was complaining how it's winter time and he doesn't have a lot of sweaters. And I was like, oh, Stitch Fix does this thing if you're not quite sure what kind of style you want. He's like, nah, I don't need Stitch Fix. I know what I like. I know what I'll shop for. And then he signed up for Stitch Fix and ended up buying everything in the box. So that's what that amount is for. And I guess I stuck my own foot in my mouth because I'm the one who brought it up to him. So anyways, so much more spending, $1,754.34. That leaves us with $2,667.03. $1 was moved to our Save and Go account, so we are left with $2,666.03 to be rolled over into week 3 of January. And we are technically in week 3 of January right now, so I don't have all of that information filled in yet. I was going to fill out all of my budgeting and but I ran out of ink. from my pen. So I quit filling it out, but I do have a plan already in my computer. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I do it all in first before actually writing it down on these sheets. So I'll definitely check in with you guys about week 3 and week 4. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me this long. If you guys care, as I promised, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what's been going on. But if you stuck around this long, thanks so much. I'll catch you in the next one. If you're just here for the budgeting, I appreciate you. For those who want a little update, then stay tuned. So, gosh, it's been so long since I made a video. I don't even know what you guys know and what you don't know. So let's see what's been happening. We're settled into our new home. Everything is pretty much going well. We paid off a lot of our debt, and we're doing really well in terms of managing our finances until, you know, life happens, as it so often does. My daughter got very, very sick in summer, where she was in the hospital for a really long time. Again, she just recently turned 3, so you can imagine like how scared we were when she had to be hospitalized for a while. But thankfully, she is all better. Everything is fine. That was back in like July, August, something like that. No, it had to have been after that. Maybe it was like October. Anyway, so that racked up a lot of medical bills. Obviously, we accumulated a lot of debt because of her hospital stay. And so we had to use our American Express credit card on that, and we're slowly like chipping away at paying all of that off. And then as soon as like we see the light at the end of the tunnel, our cat got very sick. We pride our kitty, we call him a little chubby chunky cat. He had rolls on rolls, very, very chunky. And we just noticed that he was losing weight rather rapidly. He was still eating, but not as much as he usually was. We took him to the vet, and they wanted to change his food up. He was already on a prescription cat food and everything. All of those vet visits cost a pretty penny, and then it ended up, whatever he was suffering from, it just wasn't getting any better, and he was really suffering. He was not his usual self. He was a 12-year-old cat, and so we knew he's not like a playful kitten anymore, but even still he was a rambunctious little cat where, you know, he'd play bite with you and everything. And when we noticed that he wasn't that anymore, and he's just laying around and just slow blinking, looking absolutely miserable, like we just couldn't take that anymore. So we unfortunately had to put him down, just so all of the suffering would stop. So my doctor's medical bills, on top of our cat's medical bills, plus the procedure of putting him down, all of that accumulated a lot of debt on our credit card. Thankfully, we were able to pay it all off, maybe not as soon as like the end of the month like we normally did, but we don't have any debt on our American Express credit card, thank goodness. But that was a big thing. It was really, really hard to see my daughter get really sick, our cat got really sick. And then of course, after all of that, it's holiday time, and so not only am I trying to make sure that my kids have an enjoyable holiday and my family, but there's a lot of things that come with the holidays. Like, I know a lot of us try to use it as a time of like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. The holidays are a joyful and happy time. They really are. Sometimes when you visit family or when family comes to visit you, it can be very stressful and a lot of old wounds can be exposed and open. And that definitely it happened this year when it was the holiday time. A lot of arguments and just from distant family, not my immediate family. I wouldn't, if I didn't have my husband and my kids to just kind of keep me grounded and to keep me like mentally here, like I don't know if I would have been able to make it through such a stressful holiday season. But yeah, my family, like my parents, they they definitely they know which buttons to push as as it happens sometimes. But I do know that, you know, my family, they do love me. I know everything they do comes from a good place. Maybe they just don't know how to communicate what they want and what they feel in the most effective way, but I need to keep in mind that everything they do is out of love and everything I do is out of love. I just need to remember to set boundaries where I have boundaries and to let roll off my back what I can, kind of thing. But to stay strong, to hold my ground, but also don't let the little things affect me too much. At this point, I'm just babbling, but I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. Like, I know not every family is perfect. We've all got family problems. I understand, but this holiday season took a definite mental toll on me because of a lot of old wounds, old topics of discussion being brought to light. And anyway, so that's pretty much what's been going on and where my mind has been and why I haven't been taking the time to record what's going on. Because honestly, like, I don't know, whipping out a camera and talking about money, although it would have been a good distraction, my head wasn't there. I wasn't in a good headspace for any of that. So I hope you guys can understand that. And again, I can't thank you enough for the amount of patience and grace and support you have given me in my absence. I don't deserve this kindness at all. And I'm very, very thankful for you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna try my best to make this a more regular thing. So I'm gonna hopefully see you guys not in 150 days, but much, much sooner. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.